Here we go again, starting a video in mid-project. What's that? I hear you say. Maybe. I'm attempting to make a foot heater. Now, why do you need a foot heater? Well, in Wales in the middle of winter it gets down to freezing, and I've got a concrete floor in the workshop, so I can only stay in here for about 2 hours maximum before I have to run off to the house to defrost. Then I don't want to come back again. Try and slide that down. You get the idea. Should have put that back up. I can't get it all in frame, so I've shown you most of it. And so the temperature in here varies between 30 and about 40, low 40s Fahrenheit, -1 to 5, 6 centigrade in new money. So I need some incentive to stay in here while I've got some work to do. Otherwise my working day is limited to about 2 hours. Not very productive. And these are the kinds of temperatures I have to endure in the workshop, standing on my concrete floor. Yeah. I do what most people do in these situations, have a look on eBay, Amazon for some kind of foot warmer, and all I found was some kind of heated pad. Yeah, some sort of fabric pad. There's absolutely no benefit in a workshop. It's an electric blanket kind of thing. I've got an electric blanket, but it's of no benefit at all if you don't keep it covered, so that's no good. So I've come up with what I think will suit my needs. So this is for local heat only, so I can stand on it, and you can see it's pretty robust. I could have something like 1,000 watts hot air blower by my feet, but that's not very efficient. I don't want to heat the whole workshop, just my feet and my hands. So what do we have? I've come up with something that's cheap. Yes, I know people like cheap. Made up of bits of battens, bits of old wardrobe. The only thing that's cost me any money is our old friend, some nichrome wire. Now that is 18 gauge wire. It's about 1/16 of an inch diameter, or about 1.6 millimeters in French. I think I've used something like 3 yards of it here, or 3 meters if you prefer, close enough. This is going to be 12 volts powered, not mains, or more accurately 13.8 volts of benchtop power supply. And connecting through these extremes, doesn't matter which is positive and negative, it's going to be 12 volts DC. Let's apply some power. So to test it, I've got 2 14 gauge wires running off each end. You can see that meets down there. I'll disconnect the lights, so it's only the nichrome that's taking power. Let's see how much current it takes. Can be seen far end. 4.3 amp. Voltage drops just below 12. So you can feel some warmth already. So you can put my hand on that. Before I go any further, I'll hook up a temperature gauge, I think. I've got my thermometer cable tied onto the nichrome wire. What? It's going to melt? No, it's not going to melt. I only expect this to go up to about 60 degrees or so. We'll find out. And if that nylon cable tie melts, I'll be in big trouble. Imagine what it's going to do to the soles of my feet. You see how red my hands are? This is purple cold. I think that's just about perfect. It's been on for about 15 minutes and it's topped out at about 59 centigrade. I haven't actually tried this yet. But there's a big difference between standing on concrete that's about 3 degrees C and standing on this, which will be about 60 degrees C. I'm hoping it's not going to be too much, but I can modify it if needs be. You can see I've got to connect a block on here. I've modified it once. So I've taken one of these loops out because it was only getting to about 40 degrees C. I can always change it back if needs to be, if it's getting too warm. I think that's all my wiring done. I've got 2 thermometers on there, one there and one down here which you can't see. Over. Just done some wiring on that side, show and tell, and I put a 10 amp fuse in there. Winter's nearly over now, it's April, but it's still a bit arctic outside till the sun comes up. Whee! Give that a few minutes. That's been running for about 15 minutes. You can see there's a bit of a difference in temperature between the top and the bottom. That should be okay. Nice bit of warmth coming off that. I'm hoping that the convection will allow the hot air to rise. Maybe even the heat will go up my trouser leg as well. And for those that think this is going to be a power hungry device, it's taking less power than one of these, a 60 watt bulb. Look at the meter over there, 12 volts, let's call it 5 amps, 60 watts. I'm going to put a couple of sheets of plastic over the gauges or the meters to protect them, because I will be standing on this and carrying a fair bit of dirt probably. See, the wood's getting nice and warm. Not enough to melt it, melt wood or plastic obviously, not on 60 degrees. And I've spaced these where I usually have my feet spaced on the floor. This will be taking the weight. And to complete it, a grill to go over the top. That doesn't look so pretty now. Hey ho. Now let me talk about how much this costs to make. Okay, scrap wood, nothing. Bits of old fire guard, nothing, scrap. Screws, bits of wire I had in stock. Fuse and fuse holder, very little. Connector block, same. So the only outlay here is the nichrome wire. It's about 3 yards. £1 a yard, £3. The gauges, £1.50 each, another £3. I've got some connectors here at the side with some banana plugs. Say £1.50, so that's £7.50. Yep, £7.50. But I hear you say, you need the power supply. Yes, I do. I happen to have one here. This is the power supply I intend to use It's 13.8 volts, 20 amp. This cost me nothing, because it was rescued from a scrap pile. I've made a few videos on these on my channel if you want to have a look. Didn't exactly cost me nothing, because I replaced 3 transistors in this and a couple of resistors. So this cost me £2. And the only reason I still have it here is because this is unsellable. We can't sell it again because the fan makes a god awful noise. So it's mine now, and I'll put it to use. And there's big lumps of hailstones outside. You can hear it on the roof. But you have to pay for power, don't you? Electricity. Yes, I do. And it's about, let's say, about 16 pence per kilowatt hour. And this uses 1/16 of that amount, 60 watts. So I'll be paying something like a penny an hour. So for a 24-hour period, my unit will cost me about 24 pence to run. Is that efficient or what? I've made up some leads to power this up as well. Pushes the total cost up to about £11.50. Now let me stand on this and put it to good use. I have about 2 hours work to do, and I'm hoping it's going to warm my feet. And as a bonus feature for you, seeing as I'm keeping my feet warm, it's only been on 10 minutes and feels like a different workshop already. I bought this for my hands. This is, I think it's a 500 watt mains one. Should be 240 volts, 2 amp. Just for hands. I think this will only go up to about 30 degrees. So I can do that every now and then. It's got the added bonus of keeping my tits warm. Let's see it in action in its intended place. Toasty. For this kind of weather. Having stood on my foot warmer for about half an hour without melting my shoes, hopefully, I'm going to try and kick one off now and see if we can measure its temperature. About 33 degrees, 34 against ambient of about 13. Nice difference. It even feels nice just in socked feet. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that feels good, even just in socks. So that's the end of my little contribution for today. If you found that useful, give it a thumbs down, thumbs up, leave a comment, and a kebab.